What's something embarrassing you're willing to admit? I was watching a movie with my parents when I was 7 and heard the characters talk about pee-pee. I asked my parents what it meant and they didn't tell me, so I looked it up on our family computer. This was around Christmas time and I got so scared I wouldn't get anything for Christmas because I looked it up, so I wrote a letter to Santa apologizing. He wrote me back and said it was okay. The next year I realized Santa was my parents. It still keeps me up at night. Back in middle school I slipped and fell in a watery spaghetti puke puddle. Ducker before me apparently couldn't puke into the toilet for some reason when I hurriedly sprinted into a bathroom stall because I was yo-yoing a massive hit. The slip caused me to land on my butt hard enough that I shat myself. So I had to waddle down to the nurse's office, drenched in puke and caked in my own hit, and explain to her what the duck just happened. I used to live in Alaska and the highways are pretty desolate. I drank a cup of coffee from my thermos and the urge to poo hit me hard and fast. I held it for about 2 minutes thinking the urge would pass. It didn't. So I pulled over on the shoulder, got out of my car, and listened for any oncoming vehicles. Nothing. I proceeded to pull my pants down and squat by the side of the road. I was spray hitting for about 5 minutes and just staring off into the distance enjoying the view when all of a sudden a goddamn silent but Prius pulled up to see if I needed help and saw me pushing a turd. A little boy pointed at me and screamed. Edit. For those wondering where this happened, Seward Highway on the way from Anchorage to Seward. Edit 2. Prius do exist in cities like Anchorage. They're mostly rentals. I was standing in line at Walmart and the guara's dentures in front of me fell out onto the ground. I did not realize what he dropped, so I bent down to get them and saw it was a full set of teeth. I then decided not to touch them since he has to put them in his mouth. After standing back up I felt like that was rude and he might think I did not touch them because they are gross. I changed my mind and bent back down to grab them, but as my hand was like 3 inches away I thought to myself that he definitely does not want me to touch them, so I stood back up. The entire time this guy was standing there watching me bend down and stand up several times. The final time I stood up he locked eyes, he gave me a weird look, then snatched them aggressively and walked away. I still have no idea if I should have grabbed them or not. It was just embarrassing having him watch me be indecisive about his teeth. The first time I ever spoke in public was a debate competition when I was 13. I pissed myself in front of teachers, peers, opponents, other schools, judges, and any other descriptor for a person in that 200-person audience. I was embarrassed, but decided that nothing more embarrassing would likely happen if I spoke in public again, and now I have no fear of public speaking. When I was young, I didn't know the difference between getting laid and getting laid off. Had no idea that these things are completely different. I would use them almost interchangeably. So, when my dad lost his job one year, the next day at school I went around explaining to all my classmates, yeah, things aren't going well at my house. My dad got laid yesterday. I accidentally emailed you up to my entire 900+ person office at 11 AM on a Tuesday. Edit. We have this company internal Facebook/forum type website. I thought I was commenting on something only my friend could see as a joke. Turns out the forum was set up to send out email updates when someone gave positive feedback, so when I give him the feedback of you up, it blasted the whole building. I audibly hid myself in a boardroom meeting once. There were about 7 or 8 other people in the room, and it happened while my boss was speaking. He stopped talking, and there were some gasps. I did not know what to do other than profusely apologize and go home. Next day I apologized to my boss and told him I had been ill. I still work at the same company, and it hurts every day. This was 2 years ago. When I was in middle school I was at a birthday party for a friend of mine who lived a couple blocks down the street from me. In the middle of the party I suddenly got the biggest urge to hit. My crush was at the party, and the only bathroom was right next to the living room where everyone was, so I knew I couldn't blow up the bathroom there. I told my friend I had to run home because my mom needed help with something. I tried calling her or my dad to come pick me up, but neither answered, so I had to walk. I wanted to run, but was afraid if I did it would let loose, so I determinedly sped walk home. I got about 3 houses away from my house and it became too much and I shat my pants. When I got home, no one was there and I realized I didn't have my keys, so I was locked out. I waddled around to my sister's window as it was always unlocked, pried it open, and very carefully maneuvered my head-covered self into the room. Unfortunately her bed was under the window, and on my way down, I smears it all over one of her pillows. I went into the bathroom, cleaned up, changed my pants, threw out the head-covered pillow, then headed back to the party. No one questioned me, and no one ever found out what happened. Edit. Well hit. I posted this then proceeded to take a nap, then woke up to a full inbox. I was having a bad day, so thanks Reddit for cheering me up. I didn't know alpacas were animals until I was 27. I thought alpaca meant made from llama hair, much like wool is made from sheep hair. My first pee-pee experience. I grew up in the country and was biking home and found an old nudie magazine that looked like it was there for at least a week, rained on, driven on, and most likely already came on. But my 13-year-old self bent over, picked it up, and jerked off to it right there and then on the side of the street without even getting off my bike. Twice. I cold flush a poo at my mate's parents' place years and years ago, and I had no brush or poop knife to help me out. Eventually I flushed enough that it flooded the bowl to nearly overflowing levels, but it was still stuck. I heard my friend ask if I was okay through the door and I just said yep. The whole thing was ducked for like 20 minutes and I had to get out of there, but I couldn't leave my poo particled water to stagnate there. I did the only thing I could and stuck my hand in the bowl and punched that poo into a flock of feces. It was single-handedly the hittiest thing that ever happened to me, but I got the problem fixed I guess, so that was good. Yep, my hand stunk like hit. Some say it still does to this day. Edit. Words. Edit. I drew a quick sketch for those that asked. Excuse the rushed style of it. I wanted to finish it before my wife got home from work. https://unga.com/gallery/wtrjj. Edit. For those asking. I cold not tell you why I started doing it. Too much time at home on my own as a child, and I had not developed an interest in masturbation yet. Thanks for the gold. When I was really young I used to scale the walls of our bathroom and hit into the toilet. I would take my socks off and let my clammy feet stick to the cold tiles. I would climb up as high as I could go and crap. It hit the water every time. Hell of an aim. I told a bunch of old cowwalkers about it once. Had to explain to a group of 5-6 people as they looked at me like I had 3 heads. I even drew a diagram of my toilet maneuvers. I am sure it is still around somewhere. I had a tendency to get super obsessive over my crushes growing up. Total lovesick, I will straight up marry you right now obsessive. I went the whole 9 yards. Extravagant love letters, I love yous, you're perfects, angsty writing in my journal, weird photos and music video montages, dreaming and daydreaming, yeah, all the cringy creepy stuff. I was a lonely kid with a lot of feelings and an emotionally abusive home life. I didn't stop until one girl legitimately thought of me as a stalker in a quasi-endearing way. That's when it hit home for me that my idea of love was wrong. And you have to get to know someone to have a relationship with them. I got so drunk at a festival that I blacked out completely for 10 to 12 hours. I don't even remember starting to drink. When I woke up I thought someone had taken a hit in my tent while I was asleep. However, I soon discovered that it was in fact me that had hit myself. Edit. I see a lot of people suggesting I got a spiked drink. I doubt it, but don't know for sure. This all happened after camping in the festival queue with very little sleep, then hotboxing my tent and immediately passing out for 6 hours. So that might be the reason why I remember duck all. I also didn't have anything stolen or abnormal charges on my card, plus we only had canned beer or liquor from official festival stores. I once sat on a red pastel crayon in middle school. I was wearing white pants. This was nice, thank you. Please subscribe to Reddit Throne. Please subscribe to Reddit Throne.